Gallagher on Original 106, The Death of You and Me. Noel Gallagher, officially my new favourite person. I cannot get enough of this man. Had a chat with him yesterday at the Aberdeen Exhibition and Conference Centre. And I'm going to play for you a clip now of part of the interview. It went on for a lot longer than I had imagined it would. He was just such a nice guy, and we could have blathered for a lot longer, but he had things to do, you know, like go and entertain a lot of people at the Exhibition Centre. But yes, this is the very important matter of Kit Kats. That's a wee bit later on in this snippet. But we also talk, well, about pretty much everything. Have a listen. Initially, Aberdeen wasn't on your tour list.
Is that right?
Yes. Do you know anything of this, or was it your people?
I don't get involved in that. I don't decide. I mean, if I didn't want to play somewhere, I'd say I'm not playing there. But I just get the list of the dates like everybody else. I don't. There's experts whose whole lives are built around.
They have degrees for this kind of
doing
thing.
Tours and stuff like that. I am but a lowly songwriter who gets up and does it and then goes and gets slightly drunk.
No, initially you weren't on it, so I think a lot of the crowd tonight will actually be in Glasgow as well. I know a lot of people that bought for Glasgow initially.
Now that makes sense, because I was coming up from Manchester this afternoon and there was people from Aberdeen in the airport coming up back home, and they'd been to the gig in Manchester, and I was saying, we're all going to Aberdeen tonight. And they said, oh, we've got tickets for that as well. And I was like, what have you come down to Manchester for? And they said, well, we bought these first, so that makes sense now.
That's it. I know.
Maybe it was a cunning trick by me to just winkle more money out of people.
So you decided to spend Valentine's Day with us, which is lovely.
Yeah, I spent Valentine's morning with my wife and son.
Scottish, isn't she?
She's from Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Yeah, the posh part of Scotland.
Yeah, I know.
She reminds me on a regular basis.
It is the posh part, though.
It is. They've got a big,
castle.
Queen's got a castle there. Don't get any posher than that, does it?
Although she has a castle outside of Aberdeen in Deeside.
Really?
That's her country retreat.
A long way to go from London to get away from it all, isn't it?
True, yeah. So your wife's men, did you get her something lovely for Valentine's Day?
I don't get her like, you know, diamonds the size of Ronnie Corbett or anything like that. I just get her, you know, just the obligatory bunch of flowers. I made the mistake of when I met her 12 years ago. I made the mistake of the first flowers I sent her arrived with a very witty card. I've had to keep outdoing myself for 12 years. And
you peaked too soon. Are you a romantic sort?
No.
It's strange because a lot of your lyrics on the album they're wedding songs, right?
Well, I then in my soul somewhere I must be deep down somewhere, because I do write quite romantic lyrics, but not. I wouldn't dream of when I'm at the all-night garage getting a Kit Kat, picking up a bunch of flowers.
No.
Or a Kit Kat.
I'm a Kit Kat girl.
Which one do you think they're going to get rid of?
I think orange is going to be the one that stays.
Oh yeah, no question.
But then I quite like the peanut butter one as well.
The caramel one's got to go.
The white chocolate's got to go for me.
The white chocolate's got to go. There's only Milky Bar's white chocolate. That's it.
My dream would be a 4-fingered Kit Kat made up of four
different flavours.
Just 4 chunkies? Chunky Kit Kats.
Well, the big thing, right? The beast, the monster.
How amazing. It would be like getting an Easter egg that's solid.
The Kit Kat beast, right?
I think it's worth a letter to Kit Kat.
Well, why not? If anybody's listening from Nestlé's, me and Claire have just patented that idea. More Claire than me, but I've got better lawyers than Claire. So,
but you actually had a very good idea with the 4 different flavours. That could be like a limited
edition. What, we're in the wrong game.
I think so.
We should be in the chocolate manufacturing game. If not the chocolate manufacturing game, at least the chocolate ideas game.
Exactly. But your music's pretty good as well, so
it'll do for now.
That'll be your backup plan.
It'll do for now till Cadbury's get in touch.
So Dream On is the latest single to be released.
Yeah.
The B-side is a collaboration.
Oh yeah.
Can you elaborate that on me? But it's been a bit cagey.
Yeah. Well, this is the first. There's not a great deal of it finished, I have to say. It's taken a lot longer than any of us expected. It was supposed to be finished for when I started the tour, which is in October. We've tried to mix it while I'm not there, and it can't be done because I have to be in the room, because you may have heard rumours that I'm a little bit fussy about my music. Okay. So I can't do it while I'm in Aberdeen talking to you, throwing out chocolate ideas, just pulling them out of the air and changing people's lives. But saying that, we did get a few tracks finished before I came on the road. So,
is it very different from what I've read?
Well, what people will hear on Shoot a Hole into the Sun it's quite representative of what the album is. It's kind of there was 4 songs, the 3 original singles, psychedelicized in that vein, and then 10 original songs. But I can't really say too much about it until it's finished, because it's an album that wholly relies on the mixes. Most of my stuff is about the songs, and you can't mess with the songs, and that's what it is. I could play most of the album on acoustic guitar and it'd still sound good. This, all the tracks are quite trippy, so it's all about the mixes. There's not a great deal of songy songs there. It's not verse chorus kind of
So
thing.
for someone like my mother, who's a big fan of yours, this is going to be...
She's not going to get it.
Is that a risk on your part, do you think?
I could probably stand
losing
Iris as a fan for maybe 8 or 9 months.
She'll come back to you. She's quite fickle like that. Yeah.
Eventually I'll draw her in with my romantic lyrics.
Is there any Oasis song you will never do again?
Cigarettes and Alcohol, Rock and Roll Star, Shock of the Lightning, Lila, Champagne Supernova.
You will never...
No, they're more Liam songs. I guess Liam might do them on his next tour, I guess. I couldn't do those rock and roll numbers. It's not me. I'm more of a plaintive, reflective, chocolate inventing romantic.
Well, Half the World Away is one of my favourites, and I think it's because it's attached to the royal family, which is comedy genius, isn't it, really? To make people get so involved with people that are just sitting on their sofas doing exactly what they're doing at the other side.
Well, because it speaks to the working classes, because it reminded me a lot of my youth. Jim Royle was my dad. My dad used to sit there and swear at the telly, and it was a cynic about everything. That's where I get my cynicism from. Everything was a conspiracy. He tried to convince me once the people in the Top of the Pop studio were stood in front of a giant screen. They weren't really in the studio, when it's so blatantly obvious that they were. And I was looking at the telly and looking at him in his glasses, I might add, and just thinking, I don't believe they are. Do you know what I mean?
Was he the type of guy that would let you argue with him, or was he always right?
Oh, he was always right. Oh, good God, aren't all Irish dads are all the same, aren't they?
Oh, God.
Yeah, and Irish mums.
Have you got a bit of that trait in you as well?
Well, I guess with your kids, you always have to be right. Do you know what I mean? You can't let your kids... I mean, my kids are only very young, but,
You've 2 kids. One's, 6?
A boy, my eldest boy, he was at his first concert last night in Manchester, is 4. And I've got a son who's 1, and I've got another daughter who's 11.
Are you still an embarrassing dad to them? Or are you cool dad?
What? My son came to see me last night in Manchester, the Evening News Arena. 16,000 people sold out.
Is he aware?
Doesn't get any cooler than that. Oh no, I made him aware of it this morning when I was lying in bed with him. I said, "Now look, but none of your other friends are doing this on half term, are they?" He went, "No." I went, "But none of your friends' dads did that what I did last night, did they?" "No." I went, "So who's the coolest dad?" He went, "You are by far." Thank you very much.
Makes it all worthwhile.
Well, they're saying that. He did say to me, "Why did you not do that song Moves Like Jagger?" And I went, What? Why? What about it? He said, "How come we didn't do that song?" And I said, "Well, I don't know it," being sarcastic. And he said, "You should really listen to the radio more, Dad."
Do you think they'll be musically talented themselves?
The boys, absolutely. I mean, well, I wouldn't push them into it. There's always going to be instruments lying around the house. And if they're like me, I was an inquisitive child, and there was a guitar in our house for some reason. No one's ever got to the bottom of why it was there. Nobody could play it. If they're in any way inclined to be musical, there'll always be instruments around. So hopefully they'll pick them up. So the 2 lads, definitely, it's the greatest thing in the world. The girl, I wouldn't be too keen on getting in the music business, because they're a bit vulnerable in the music business, girls, I think.
So I think I will leave you to it, though. I've got some brilliant audio so far.
Okay.
And I'm sure you've got a very busy night ahead of you.
I've got to go and do a few bits and bobs, yeah.
Well, it was lovely to speak to you. And
too.
you weren't anywhere near as bad as I was told you were going to be.
What? Who said that?
I know.
I'm brilliant. You won't want anybody like me ever again.
I was petrified.
You've come up with 2 great ideas for chocolate, for Kit Kats.
It's going to make us millions.
I've told you stuff about my childhood, about my kids, about my Valentine's Day operation, music. We've covered everything.
We've done everything.
It's like the Parkinson tapes, this. It's amazing.
Watch out, Parky. Well, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Original 106.
So that was me, Claire Stevenson, discussing the very important topic of Kit Kats with Mr. Noel Gallagher. Yes, he of Oasis fame. and I think it's appropriate to talk to him about chocolate. The interview gets even better, trust me. Another clip of my chat with Noel after 9 o'clock. But for now, some classic Oasis. It's Whatever on Original 106.
To be whatever
An absolutely stunning version of that at the Aberdeen Exhibition and Conference Centre last night with Noel Gallagher. He had a full choir behind him while singing Whatever, and it was goosebump worthy. It really was. If you were there, that was especially for you. It is Original 106, 10 minutes to 9 o'clock Wednesday evening, and this is Coldplay.
I used to